Hey, what's up, everybody? Super excited. Day number 4 of the traffic challenge. Guys, oh my gosh. The last few days have been amazing. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I know that, I've seen so many comments and messages that you guys this is the most value you have ever seen. So I'm really excited that you guys are enjoying this. And more importantly, that you're actually taking action. Also, and I just want to make sure we're on live. Can you guys hear and see me okay? Just want to make sure. Yes, we are good to go. Okay. So, a few things here, right? We have a very special speaker coming in today to teach us about mindset. I'm going to bring her on in just a second. But before we do that, there's a few things, right? The traffic challenge. Are you guys posting your videos every single day? That's the whole point of this challenge, is to push you to start creating content. Content changed my entire life. And if I could get you to do that, then I promise you can change your life as well. Okay. Now, real quick, I'm going to show you, if you haven't done this yet, please do this. Okay. So if you can see my screen here, this is the challenge group, which we just broke 30,000 members, which is insane. Now, okay, you'll see here, every day I have a post for posting your video. So we started on day 1, day 2, day 3, and then today's day 4. Okay. So basically inside of here, you go and post your videos, just like you can see right here. And everyone's going to go and comment, like, support, remix your videos. That's the whole goal, is to really help each other build that up. Okay. Last thing here, and I'll bring on my special guest. So basically in the evenings, we're doing a Zoom call, guys. So if you guys have any questions at all, if you actually want to speak to someone on the team, and you need help with traffic or your funnels or your lead magnet, whatever it is, we actually have a Zoom call every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So that's all in the pre-homework. So if you go over there, there's a link to get access to that. Okay. So make sure you hop on that Zoom call, guys. It's going to be absolutely free for you guys, during this challenge. So I hope you guys are taking advantage of everything that we have. All right, let's get into this. So real quick, guys, let me know where you're watching from down in the comments. I see so many are already on, so thank you so much. Now, this guest, I actually met her at a mastermind, and it was a mastermind in Mexico, and she literally blew my mind with some of the mindset hacks that she was helping me with. And she was able to help me change the way I thought about money. And I really think she can help everyone here, because she was able to do her first $1 million her first year. And then she was able to do it again the next year in the first 10 months. So, and it's really all about the mindset. And she's going to come in and show you her framework on how she's doing that. So really excited. I'm going to bring on Shamina Taylor. What's up?
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. All right. Who loves money? Put it in the chat right now. Who loves money? Who loves money? I want to see, because if you don't love money, you're probably in the wrong spot, right?
I want to tell you, loves money. That's right.
Well, believe it or not, though, Jonathan, people say they love money, but then really they have this low-key subconscious belief system that money's bad and money's dirty. And that's sometimes why people don't make money. So I'm here to teach you guys about what I think is a game-changing part of being really successful online. Like Jonathan's teaching you strategy, you're going to be learning a lot about how to create your business, go out there. But if you don't have the mindset to go and do it, well, it could change everything. And if you don't have the money mindset, that could be the make or break for many people. And right now, how many of you were told that money was bad growing up? How many of you were told that money was like, rich people are bad, or they're greedy, or we need to give our money away? And no, nothing against I love my church people, but they were told that they shouldn't have a lot and they should give it away. And it wasn't a lot. It wasn't good to have so much, right? How many of you were told that, right?
Yeah, I know I was, for sure.
Right. You got to limit yourself. You got to give on to others to receive. But the Bible actually doesn't say all of that, by the way. I mean, if you read all the fine print, and I'm a lawyer, former lawyer, it wants you to be in abundance. Jesus was in abundance. Not that I'm going to get holy right around you guys here, but I want you to know that it is your right while you're living in this world to have money and to enjoy it. It's just an energy and it's just a tool. Mm-hmm. But whatever you assign meaning to anything will become the thing that it is, right? Mm-hmm. So, for example, if people say, you ride your bike after 5 o'clock p.m., you're not going to, burn enough carbs. You have to work out on an empty stomach. You have to be fasted cardio in order to lose weight. Then there'll be alternative people who say, no, you need to do your cardio, at another time. You need to do your cardio after you lift weights. You have to have breakfast in the morning. Do you know breakfast in the morning was actually created by a cereal company? So what I'm trying to get to you right now is that a lot of the stuff that we have been programmed with in society is programming, it's marketing. And if you want to stand out somewhere else and really try to make the most amount of money that you can, I believe you get to be unapologetically rich. I know that's going to go against a lot of people, but if the money's here for us to have it, why would we not be able to enjoy it? Why do we have to limit ourselves? And a lot of the times we've been imposed with those limits by other people. Don't want too much. The more you want, the less other have. That's untrue. That's crap. The more, if we live in abundance, right? If we know that they're printing money right now, you can hear it's like it's being printed. This is the most amount of money that's been circulating since 1976. It's being printed right now, right? So why can't you have it? Like why do you have to forego so others can have? Now, one of the things that I feel like is when you activate this, what I'm going to teach you today, it's going to be the make or break between being this successful and that successful, right? Many of you are very, very successful. You know how to go make money, but you're probably doing it really hard. You're doing it the hard way. You're really hustling all the time. And I know this is going to go against most of the 5 a.m. wake up people, but I'm like, I wake up when I'm done sleeping. I know Jonathan doesn't. He was already, but he's a machine. He's different. And, but money doesn't have to be hard. The way you do something doesn't have to be hard. It gets to be quite easy. And he's showing you so many easy ways for you to just go online. If you guys are not participating in the challenge, you're missing out. This guy is so good at what he does. Follow what he does because he's showing you such an easy way for you to make money. Instead of having to work that 9 to 5, be in that grind, you get to make your own hours. You get to do what you want. And that is what I want people to understand. When you stop exchanging time for money, you're going to quantum leap. Everybody heard of that? You're going to collapse time, which I believe I did and how I made money. When I came into this online space, I thought everybody was a millionaire because that's what I saw, right? So guess what? I had the expectation that I was going to make $1 million. So in my mind, I was like, well, everybody's doing this. And I bet you Jonathan did too, because he was an engineer. When he came into the online space and he saw other people being quite successful, he's like, man, I could do that too. And so when you have the belief that you could do something, guess what? You can do it. Right. And so someone says, can you please call my husband and tell him that? Listen, we're going to have lots of things to tell your husband. Hold on. We got lots of things. So first and foremost, you are the blueprint for your life and business. Whatever you're thinking about right now, whatever you're feeling about, whatever you see, however you see the world is how the world is going to show up for you. So I don't have my Wacom board to draw on here, but beliefs that you were raised with, right? Like I told you about, money was bad, or we need to give it away, or you have to work really hard. Put those on like lenses right now. You're putting those on. Those are going to become a filter how you see the world, right? And then you put on any kind of, money crap that you've got, you put those on. Then you've got on what society has told you. Then you've got on past experiences. But Shamina, I had a bankruptcy. But Shamina, you didn't see what happened to me. You don't know what my life story is. You put those on. But I know all of you have this dream life that you want. Yes. The reason why you're on this call is because you know you can make the most amount of money. You want to go out there and live your best life. Yes. Is that what you guys want? You want to design the life of your dreams. I did. I saw that people were, flying first class. They were going to these most amazing resorts with their kids. And I'm a single mom. I started all over again when I came into this world. I saw women with Cartier and Rolexes and driving G-Wagons. And I was like, okay, what's she doing over there? And I have a saying, if she can, I can. I just need to see the framework on how to do it. Well, guess what? I've got my Cartier now and my Rolly, and I've got my G-Wagon inside, paid cash inside my garage. And I don't say that to brag. What I say to you is that if you have the belief that it's there, your subconscious will start believing in it. All right, keep with me. Everybody with me so far? Yay for the
yeah. So many comments they're coming in, and you can see them coming in, right?
Yeah. Yep. I see you. Okay.
I'm gonna throw them up as well. So
now, remember, I was a former attorney, so I was like Jonathan. We were, in that corporate. You go to job, right, Jonathan? We go there, we do our work, and then we come
Right.
home and we make our salary for the year. And I'm sure Jonathan's making his salary in a day now. I'm making mine in a month. Sometimes I've done it in a day. My whole year of being a lawyer, I've done, and I wasn't one of those fancy lawyers that you see like on, Law and Order. I had to grind for my money. But I'll give you an example. I went to an event, and if you're not participating in person events and going to events, you really need to. I heard Birdie told me that Jonathan might be having one, so look out for that. But and meeting him in person, you just definitely need to do that. So I was at an event, and there was two women there, and one of these ladies came up to me and she said, she's like, I've heard you do da da da. And then she's like, but I don't have any money. And well, as soon as she said that to me, I'm like, oh, you're already telling me you have no money. So you've already believed that. So as we started talking, because someone said she'd be a good client for me, I found out that she was doing web design. She was only charging a very small amount. I said, why are you charging so little? She's like, because the people can't pay. I said, so you're creating your business based upon what people can pay you, not the value of the work you're doing. Money mindset crap just came in right there. And I said, why aren't you value? She's like, because every time I try to raise my rates, they push back at me. I go get new clients. You need to speak to a different client, because if you want to charge, I teach high ticket too in my programs, because once you know your value, you can charge 10, 20, 30,000, whatever it is that you want. But if your money mindset is at a place of like limitation, then you're going to stay limited. And then come to find out, she was on food stamps. Nothing's bad with food stamps. But then she later on tells me, well, I have $100,000 in my bank account, 60,000 in my savings or in my Roth or whatever it was, and 40K in her account. I said, why are you on food stamps? She goes, well, because I'm not working right now and I can get money. And I said, so you're taking money and becoming the story of being on food stamps, instead of turning that story around and saying, I'm in abundance, look how much money I have, look at the abundance around me. I go, you're keeping yourself in the lack story. You're keeping yourself in scarcity. And come to find out, she had a breakup 6 months ago. The guy left her and she felt like a victim. She felt like this rejection, was not redirection, but it was something like, I wasn't good enough and I was unworthy. And so what happens is she played into that story. And so she kept playing that story. Where is the story that you could be playing in that's limiting your money growth? Where could it be? I know I dig for my stories all the time, because I know money is here for me. It is raining upon me all over the place. Abundance is all around me. And it's not just money, right? I'm going to talk about that, but abundance is everywhere. And then I met another woman who said, oh my gosh, I walked in somewhere and she's like, who are you? She's like, look at that Louis bag. She commented on my shoes. She commented on my Burberry cape. And she's like, I need to know who you are. And she was a woman of abundance. She opened up, showed me her bank account. She had $100,000 in there. She's like, teach me all you have. I want more. So there's a difference between how people look at things in life, right? So you could look at the glass, they say half full or half empty, right? I look at the glass overflowing. The glass is overflowing for me.
That's awesome.
And
I love that.
right. I'm just like, it's never one or the other. I'm like, give me more.
Yeah.
And so those two people have very different ways. So like Sarah and Susie could learn exactly the tactics that, Jonathan teaches or other people teach. But Sarah, because she has an expanded money mindset and she's in abundance, she's like, where's the more? She's going to receive more. Right. But then, was that, did you use Sarah on that one? Maybe Susie's the other one. Susie's in lack. She's complaining. She's blaming. She's like, nothing ever works for me. I can't purchase these things because they cost too much. She's living in all the stories. Well, Sarah is not going to make as much money. Yeah.
100%.
She's going to say, I can't afford it. And so this leads me to my next thing. What do you want? Why do you want this money? What do you want to go do with the money? Because I have a strong belief that wanting just money is never going to get us where we need to go. But how many lives do you want to impact with the money? How many people do you want to reach? What do you want to purchase? How do you want to create a life for your family? And so I always looked at the things that life had to offer, because if I'm living in this life, I can have it. So a jet, I want a jet, I wanted all these things, and I didn't want to be living in the limits. Like, there's no limits, right? And I want them now. And I'm willing to do the work, but I want them now. So what
Yeah.
I always say is if we let our desires lead without judgment, right? Because we're the first people to judge ourselves. Well, I don't need a Rolex. I don't need a G-Wagon. I don't need Cartier. I don't need blah, 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 whatever it is you want. Nobody needs these things. Who
Hmm.
needs them? But we desire them.
Hmm.
And it's not because there's a difference. There's a difference between, and I said this on another podcast that I was on. Most people have it backwards. They're trying to have, do, and then be. But you need to be, do, and then have. A lot of people acquire their possessions just so they could show that they're fancy and look at me and validate me. And here I am. Look, I've reached success. Look at the watch. Look at the things that I'm doing. That's not what I teach. I teach you need to
Yeah.
become the person first. So when my bank account was on empty and actually on life support, and I was starting all over again as a single mom, which was just 4 years ago, our stories are very similar, Jonathan and I.
Yeah.
I was starting all over again. I was like, this is not my final destination, because I knew that I could believe and count on one thing, and that was me.
Mm.
And I knew I had to become a wealthy version of myself first before the money came in, because you attract who you be. I had to have that mindset first. And I tell you, money does not change you. Money does not make you, become a different or better person. All it does is amplify with what you are right now. So if you start implementing those money things, money mindset, money beliefs, abundance right now, I would say that one of my favorite things that I've taught my children. I have 2 kids. My son is 18, going off to college. Ooh,
I
I'm so
saw that. That's so crazy.
I can't even talk about it. I'm gonna just cry right now. And this mascara is not waterproof, but I poured into my children, and my daughter's 17 in a couple weeks, and she'll be off next year. But the thing
Mhm.
that I've taught them, and I'm a giver, not because I want to receive. I just give to give because
Yeah.
it makes me feel so good. I always carry cash on me, and that's what a money tip. If you don't do that right now, I'll go get 100 or 200 ones from the bank account all the time, just so I can tip my barista, my car wash guys, not because I'm showing off with the money, because I know money is a currency and it's always just flowing, right? So this goes back to the do, be, have, right? And the be, do, have. I
Mhm.
know before, when I was really successful, I had a spiritual awakening. You guys have to go to my podcast, Unapologetically Rich, or go to my YouTube and you can find my story or read my book. But I had a moment, an aha moment on a yoga mat years ago. And I realized that at that time I had, like many of my clients do, we had this aha moment where I had all the success. I had the car, I had, the husband, I had the business, I had the 2 kids. I was traveling, but something was still missing in my life. And I know that my purpose and what I came here to do, it wasn't in the success I had already. Most of that success was achieved by validation, because I was proving myself to the world. I had an unworthiness wound, which I'll talk about in a minute. We're going to get a little deep here. Hang tight. But Jonathan knows that's how I roll. Um, and and unworthiness is one of the things that fuels most of us successful people, because we all, I mean, how many of us, and I don't want to make this a sad story, but how many of us have felt unworthy? I mean, it's the thing that fuels people who are highly achieving. It's our high performers. It's because we never feel like what we've done is good
Yeah.
enough. And so
Mhm.
it just makes us go, 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 go. So, and back in the day, I have do be. So look at my shit, look at my stuff, like look how successful I am. And now you're going to validate me. You can't say anything about me. But when that life on that yoga mat came to a halt, I realized that I didn't have fulfillment and I needed to now figure something out. How many of you felt that, right? Where it's like, and perfectionism is actually a scarcity mindset. Who knew that? And I'll tell you
Mhm.
why. So how many of you are like, okay, well, what is the next thing? So to be, do, have, you have to become the woman, the man that you have to be. And then you go do the action of whatever it is in your business and that energy. And then you can have, and now these things mean so much to me, not because look at what I've achieved and I've worked so hard, but every time I look at this watch or my Cartier, especially my Cartier, because when I first hit my million, I went to Cartier's store. It's a cool story. And I went in there and I was like, gonna only buy one bangle, because I saw the ladies that had it in my industry with it. And I was like, oh yeah, I want that. I wanted it for me.
So cool. Yeah.
And when I went in there, I was looking around and when you go into those high designer stores, you feel a little intimidated at first, but I was like, no, I'd already made $1 million. And I was like, why is my mindset here? I'm like, no. I go in there and this wonderful woman named Nan, if she's not working at Cartier anymore in Chicago, but I do have another lady. If you guys would live in Chicago area, I can give it to you. But she's like, let's see. And I started trying them on and I was like, wow. And all of it, totaled about $30,000. I was like, what? I could pay that on a mentor. I could buy that because I invest in myself all the time. I'm like Jonathan. I'm like, if someone knows something that I don't know and I need it, I'm going to spend the money and find out. Like so me spending 30,000 on a mentor was nothing, but to buy something for myself, like I don't need it. But let me tell you, this purchase has expanded me into so much wealth that you have no idea, because I can't take them off. Every time I go through the airport, I got to keep them on and go to the special thing. Where you put your hands up and you look like you're under arrest. And so every time I look at these, they make me feel wealthy.
Yeah.
They make me feel wealthy. And so I end up leaving the store.
Interesting that you say that though, because, and sorry to cut you off there, but I was the same, or I guess like my thing now is like, I'm still building the business. I got to continue, for me, right? I have to continue investing myself in mentors and coaches and courses and masterminds that I haven't even gotten to the point of buying those things because I keep telling myself that. So it's interesting that you mentioned that. So
it's an expander. Can I tell you, when I bought my G-Wagon, and it was when they were like in a scarcity, like they weren't making them anymore because of, all that stuff that was going on. It will be 3 years that I have it. And I put it on my phone, like, cause I like to design. I'll go off topic here, but I'm always feel like our subconscious is ruled by our emotions, and I teach emotional mastery. And then if you're in your emotions, like, you're going to run the show. So, but if you can I put on my phone, I put down like a vision board. So I had my G-Wagon down there. I had another Mercedes, and I'm a millionaire, and I had some other things on there. So every day that I picked up my phone, I know many of you have your cats and your dogs and your kids and stuff on there. I already know I had manifested those kids. Like, I already got that. I'm looking for something that I can program my mindset with. So every time I picked up my phone, my mind would be like, oh, there's my G-Wagon. So the universe didn't know the difference whether I had that or not. And the reason why I say go big with your dreams and your desires of what you want now, but do it in the state of not that I needed to prove something to people, but because how it will make me feel. Because everything that you want is because how it will make you feel, right? How will it make you feel? Will it make you feel happy, sad, whatever it is you want it because. And so my desire to have the G-Wagon brought the cash in. Because it was so strong. My desire to have a Rolex brought the cash in. And so I always filled the desires too. I don't limit myself, because if I don't tell the universe that I get to have what I want, then the universe doesn't send it to me anymore. God, universe, however you want to talk about it. I use it interchangeably. We don't limit ourselves. We have to live in the abundance of what's here for us, because the more we live in that wealth, we become the attractor of wealth. We become but if you live in the lack, like you have to limit, then guess what? It doesn't happen that way, right? I didn't bring my purse, and I got to show you. I have $100. I have 100 bills. I always carry cash in my wallet, because it's one of the things that I never used to do before, because I would be like using my card. How many of you use your card, right? And so, but every time I look in my purse now, I would start with a small amount. I did $20, then I worked up to just $100 bill, and I didn't spend it. So if I ever said to myself, I don't have money, I'm like, I looked in my wallet and I was like, oh girl, you have money. Because if you say you don't have money, you can't create more money, because you're in the scarcity lack mindset. Well, now I carry a couple $1,000s in my wallet all the time. I know that seems excessive, because people are like, oh, what if you lose it? I'm like, what? No, that's the first thing people feel unsafe around large amounts of money. And that's why they don't bring it in. They feel safe carrying money, and most men that I know, they'll have a wad of cash in the front of their pockets, especially the old school dudes. They always carry cash, because cash is queen and people call it king, because when you see it, it's there to show you that there's more, right? There's more. And so start with a small amount, start using cash for like just tipping, but use your card to get your points, because we don't want to keep benefiting with those, our points, right? Or MX or
That's right. Free vacation
points in there, but tip in cash, right? Climate change and the consumerism. Listen, when COVID was hitting, everybody was going, I was making tons of money, because I did was I put on blinders. I'm like, I don't care what's going on in the world out there. I'm going to look at what's happening here. Do you know how many millionaires are made in a down market? And you can be one of them. And you have to have that mindset. You can't, because people are complaining, everything's so expensive. Life is going to life. Things are going to happen with the economy. we're going to get shut down. If we could survive that and make money in it, we could do anything as far as I'm concerned. And so you have an opportunity to go right now and make a business online, and he's showing you how to do it. I mean, go do it and amplify what you have going on right now. It's possible. All you have to do is live in the possibility it'll work for me. One of the things that people struggle with when they have a lack mindset is like, well, I don't know if it's going to work. I have to have everything figured out. This is not working for me. All of these things come up. And what happens is you're really writing yourself out of the possibility of more wealth. So to me, I don't look at all the things that are happening. I look at what's possible, because a lack mindset will take me down a road of nothing's working and blaming somebody. So that to me is like a mindset of like, well, the economy is bad, so then I shouldn't make money. Nope.
Right.
No. You see Louis Vuitton still has a line out front, right? People are buying Bugattis right now, right? So, I mean, where are they getting their money?
Yeah.
And yes, you can talk about the little man, but you don't have to be the little man. You can be the big person. You can show up. So, how are you guys enjoying this right now? I'm just trying to like check in with you.
So many comments. Shamina, so let me ask you a question then, because based on what you were saying, what's interesting is like, yeah, I'm showing people the tactics, and we're having this amazing traffic challenge, right? And I've had like a lot of people are doing it, right? But there's so many that just like, oh, I don't think I can do this. I'm like, it's a free challenge. I'm literally giving you everything you need to do this. Like, this is something I usually charge thousands for.
Yeah, he does.
So like, and it bugs me because I'm like, we put so much resources and time, and I know it could help people, but for some reason they don't, in their head, they're not worthy enough to do it. And it just, I don't know what else I can do. Right.
I can tell you.
So
hey, right now, those excuses about, here's the thing, you didn't invest in anything in it. Because many of you, because you didn't give some money for it, you're not valuing it. So you're sitting here going, yeah, I'll do it later. I'll do it next week. And you know what? He's going to take these trainings down, and then he's going to charge you for it. And then you're going to wish you did it when you had it. Yeah. And I'll tell you something, you know why I got to where I am? Because I jumped on free trainings like this because I had no money. And I did, this is not a word of a lie. It was March 2020. And I'd started, I ran a course in January, March 2020. This woman was doing a free training. I watched that free training. I was working at the gym, listening to her. I was making sure I was like, and then something she said made me go, what? Like that made me click. And I was like, she's like, you're always planting seeds. She's like, it doesn't matter if someone's not buying from you right now, right? They will eventually buy from you if you keep showing up and giving them the content. That know, like, and trust factor has to get created. She's like, just because someone didn't turn around and convert right away doesn't mean they won't. And I'm telling you, I have so many seeds planted in my field right now that I keep showing up every single day because they keep turning into clients. People that have been following me and watching me for 2 years now are coming into my world. You just don't know when someone's going to come work with you. But she said that one thing to me, and guess what? I went out there and I put out a program, a 90-day program. I was charging people, I think it was $3,200 for 90 days. And if they wanted to work with me for a one-on-one call, 3 calls, I was going to charge them $3,500 or $3,600. Everybody took it. I was like, oh shoot, maybe that wasn't a good idea. But it showed me that the offer, people wanted that. And 2020 was a little bit different. Everybody's home. I will put that little disclaimer there. But these women took a leap of faith and came to me. And guess what? I had someone come on, was a one-on-one client. I made $51,000 in that month. And then I took most of that money and I went and invested and hired a mentor. I hired the woman who gave me the free thing because I was like, if she could give me some information now that can make me make money, I wonder when I invest in her, what could happen. And so then I invested in her, and guess what? In June, I had a $300,000 month. And so what I want to tell you right now is, the way you value things, this is the difference between a broke mindset, which I don't like that word, and an abundance mindset. Broke people will get something for free and not do anything with it. People 100%. With an abundant mindset will go, look, damn, I'm getting this for free. I better keep doing it, because then you know what? I don't know what's going to turn around in my life. And so this is the lack and scarcity mindset that comes in. And some people are just not self-motivated. And so guess what? They're not going to do the thing. They're not going to go to the gym. They're not going to be part of the 1%. Jonathan and I are part of the 1% because we went and did the damn thing. And we didn't look at our excuses and go, oh yeah, I don't know everything. I'm like, I'm going to hire someone who knows more than me and teach me, because I know the shortest road to get to where I need to go is someone who's already walked it. You know what I mean? So you're getting this right now. And Have you ever heard about a quantum leap? Do you guys know what a quantum leap is? A quantum leap is when we collapse
Extreme
time.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a future version of yourself right now, a very successful version, or the version that you look at that has all the things that you want. Then there's you right now. The you right now has to act like your future self. So the you right now has to show up, wake up, be that person. And what people are waiting to do is let me see the success first, then I'll be successful. That is
Mhm.
so untrue. That is why most people are not successful. You wake up as your wealthy, successful version in the morning. So what does she do? She gets up, she does her morning routine, right? If you don't have a morning routine right now, then I don't know. And it doesn't have to be something that, that is so extravagant or looks like Jonathan's or mine or someone else, but you have to have some discipline on
Yeah.
how you start the day, right? Some people get up and they do their journaling, they read their Bible, whatever it is they do, they go work out, and then they're ready to go crush the day. I wake up when I'm done sleeping because now I'm doing something different, but I still have a morning routine. I don't wake up to an alarm clock, but I still get up. I still have my meditation that I do, like, like what I want
Yeah.
to see in the world. I set my intentions, because if you don't set the day with any intentions, then the day is going to take over and it's going to have power over you, right? And you want to have power over your day and how you show up. I wake up, I do my money mindset work in the morning, and I do this at night before I go to bed. I set my gratitude for a day, because if I'm not in my gratitude and if I'm not grateful for what I have right now, guess what?
Mhm.
Nothing more of that's going to come in my world. And my gratitude could be for something so small. It could be because somebody held the door open for me, but I'm grateful for all the things, not just for the money, right? So if you are not doing that, if you're not waking up, talking to yourself, good things in the morning, right? This morning I saw a sticky note I put there like about 5 years ago or something, 4 years ago. And it said, I want to help people, change the way they feel, like be successful in the world. I can't remember exactly what it was. And I'm
Mhm.
doing that right now. I look back at my journals from 5 years ago. I said I was going to fly first class. I fly first class all the time right now. I said that I was going to have hundreds of $1,000s in my bank account. I have that right now. I said I was going to pay cash for a Bentley. Well, I paid cash for a G-Wagon. I said I was going to do all these things, impact thousands of women, because I got up and did the thing. You cannot expect success to come and get you,
Yeah.
right? But you have to go get it. So I know why Jonathan's a little frustrated. I stopped doing stuff for free because I don't want people freeloading, coming in, watching it, and doing nothing with what I was doing, because it wasn't a good exchange of my honey, his brilliance, and him bringing together this big group of people to give you guys the opportunity to go do the thing, and then you don't do it. Well, those people will never be successful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they just won't,
It's true.
because they don't, right? They don't see it here for themselves. Now
100%.
let me go a little deeper.
Okay.
We got 3 core wounds: unworthiness, betrayal, and abandonment. I can go look in your business and your bank account right now and see which one that you operate from.
Mm.
If you have abandonment in your life, if you have unworthiness, if you have betrayal, or if you have all 3 of them. I'll give you an example. Money comes in. Oh my gosh, all this money comes in. You're excited. You had a good cash month. And then the next month it goes by. And you're like, what happened? Sometimes what happens is people will have that money come in, but they don't feel safe with it. Okay.
Mhm.
And they don't feel safe with it. And so then something else gets created to level that money out, and it goes right out the window. And then sometimes people will have inconsistent months because they've had a betrayal wound and they don't
Mhm.
trust that the money's going to stay. So they keep going up and down. Then the people with unworthiness, which was me before, is that I would not charge enough and I would over deliver and overgive and give too much and expect more from people. Right. And so then I would create resentment because I was always giving to everybody. And then the resentment is a scarcity mindset, but I would not charge what I should be charging. And so, and then I would make all these programs and give everything in there, and then expect people to go do it. So let me tell you, the level of wealth and value that you have right now will determine how you invest in yourself and how much money you're going to make. And so if you have, I used to have maybe more than one of these wounds, to be honest with you. And so what I do with people is I help them work through where that came from.
Mhm.
Why? And so, abandonment could have been your mom left you in the aisle at Kmart for 2
Mhm.
minutes. And then you feel, how kids are like, don't leave me, mommy. And that can make you
Yeah.
feel unsafe. So with money, we've put so much belief on it that it has to protect us, keep
Mhm.
us safe, provide all these things for us, right? But if you don't feel that alone within yourself, money can't do that to change that. Now, people are looking to come find like the Mecca here, like, hey, Jonathan, give us all these things. But if you don't if you are in a trauma response and not actually getting off your butt and doing something, it's the fear. One of these things
Yeah.
are stopping you. So it's so important for you to do. This is gold. I'm so happy you're feeling that way. It's so important for you to take action, right? And I've had clients that come to me and they're said, I know I need to do this thing. I need to do this thing. And I'm like, okay, so do the thing. You know what stops them? Fear.
Mhm.
Fear. What if it doesn't work? Okay. What if I do all of this and I'm still not successful? Okay.
Mhm.
What if what if what if I try this? I've tried it before and it didn't work. Okay. I've been there. I
Mhm.
mean, if it didn't work, guess what I do? I try something else. Right, Jonathan?
That's right.
Because we don't give up.
Mhm.
Because when you're driven, it doesn't matter what life is coming to. I don't believe in failure. I believe it's just data I collected so how I can move next time.
I love that. So good. Yeah.
Right? There's no
I
such
always
thing.
tell everyone, fail as much as you can. The faster you fail, the quicker you're going to get to success.
The quicker you'll get, because you know what? If you sit there, and this is what this analysis paralysis that people go through, they sit there in their mind, they go, well, let me figure out, if I do this, this will happen. I'm like, you
Yeah.
don't know. Go out there. I have a saying in my business, messy makes me millions. When I
Mhm.
stopped being perfectionist, when I stopped overanalyzing things and I just took action in when the belief that I had it was going to work, guess
Yeah.
what? 9 times out of 10, that thing worked. Because
Mhm.
the more that you have faith in what you're doing, that is an abundance thinking way. The more faith, and people are like, well, what if it doesn't work? I'm going to look like a fool. And what?
Mhm.
So, can you handle it? No. Most people are afraid because their emotions will get hurt, because
Yeah.
they'll look bad. They'll care about what people think. You know how many people were making fun of me when I said I was going to go online and do this business? I had people chattering, guys I was dating, saying, subconscious things on the internet about me. And
Yeah.
I'm like, look at me now and look where you are. If I let what people think about me stop me from growing and being the thing that I wanted to be right now, I would not be able to impact the thousands of lives and help women become millionaires and change the way people are looking at themselves, because I was letting my insecurities stop me. You have to work on the fear. I use fear as fuel right now,
Mhm.
because when I feel like I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing the thing. I'm not doing the thing. Oh my gosh. And I feel this nervousness. I'm like, that I know I need to bust right through that right now, because it's showing me, guess what? A limit. It's
Mhm.
showing me a limit. It's showing me where I'm being limited. It's showing me where I'm playing small. And how many of you know you're playing small right now? Just be honest.
I'll even say that.
I was just gonna say me too. I was just like, I feel like I could be bigger. I could be
Yeah.
playing bigger. And Jonathan and I
100%.
had this conversation. And I'm like, I know I still got gas in the tank. And
Yeah.
even though he's on here with hundreds of people watching and he's doing the damn thing every single day, we all are playing much smaller than we
Yeah.
should be. So you have an opportunity right now to just jump. And I feel like there's people who just jump out of a plane. I call them plane jumpers. They jump out of the plane without a parachute. I'm not saying to do this technically. This is a disclaimer in the lawyer and me. But people who jump out of a plane and they figure out how to fly on the way down.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then there's people who have to check twice, check 3 times, let the plane go back down on the ground, then come up again and come back next week, maybe next year, maybe never. And they never jump. But you won't know what you're made of until you go all the way in. I have 2 kids right now, and summer break just started on Friday. Both of my kids are at a job right now, and they don't need to work. They have all the money. Their dad is very successful. I'm successful. My daughter couldn't wait to go to work today. She woke up at 7 a.m.,
Mhm.
6:30 a.m., went. My
Yeah.
son got on a plane to go to Texas to work with his dad for a job, flew by himself, ordered his Uber. He only had 4 hours sleep, got on the plane, and he's in Texas right now. He's going to fly back tomorrow. My kids have everything, but you cannot teach this thing that I'm telling you about unless you go do it for yourself. And your children are watching you right now, right? If you are parents, kids don't listen to what you're saying. Kids watch what you do. And my children have watched me show up for myself and the people that I serve over and over again. And they've watched their father. And let me tell you, that creates a discipline. This is how you break generational trauma. That
Mhm.
when it comes to money, you show up for your children because you are doing the thing, and you have to show up for your inner child too. You have to show up for yourself.
Mhm.
You have to show yourself what you're made of. And I know every time I go bigger, guess what? Bigger arrives, right? So Let me ask you this, because I'm not a plane jumper. I'm the plane jumper, but not yet with a family. I'm checking 20 times. So here's the thing, like, it's a practice, right? The more that you take action on something, the faster that future version of yourself comes here. I believe that the way that we bring our future reality to us right now that we created is that we we decide right now that nothing's going to stop us, not even us. Even though and really it's just your belief systems, because you can have someone tactically doing the same thing, right? They have the same skill sets. They're doing the exact same thing, but one person will believe it will work and the other person will make excuses. The person that believes it will work will come up against roadblocks, will come up against resistance, will come up against certain things. Things might not go great, but they'll still keep persevering.
Mhm.
That person is how success is going to come to them. It's not magical, right? It's because they're going to go out there and they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to believe every single day I wake up. So this is why I say you have to be, do, and have. You have to become the person that has the beliefs that this is going to work. You have to be all in. This is what people do. They say, yeah, I'm all in, I'm all in, I'm all in. But then they get into the boat with one foot and then they have one foot out and they're
Mhm.
still anchored and they're like, yeah, I want to go places. I want to do the things. But the anchor is one foot out. You cannot move with one foot in the boat and one foot out. You've got to
Yeah.
put both feet in the boat. You've got to cut it off and you've got to just go, right? I think Tony Robbins says, burn the boat, burn the boats or something, burn the
Burn the
bridges.
boats. Yeah.
Yeah, to go. But I'm like, you need to get in the boat because I
Burn the
need a boat.
boats, take over the island, right?
Yeah. But I'm like, get in the boat and like, let's go, let's get the boat of the yacht. I'm like, get in the boat and go see the world and go see what I can do. And
Yeah.
I never I don't have a husband beside me brooding me on, like saying, hey, you can do this. And like because I put my attention into my children. And some of you might not have that partner in your life. You might even be married and you might not have the person that has the same mindset as you. You cannot make that an excuse. I've got clients that come to me and say, well, my husband doesn't have an
Mhm.
expanded mindset. I said, you keep doing you, he will come along. You can't change him, right? You cannot worry about what other people are thinking. I had another client that said, my mom just basically said right now to me that told my kids better work hard for their money. I said, you're setting your kids up right now that they think that the only way that they can earn money it has to be hard. No.
Mhm.
This is the difference. When your kids value themselves and the work that they're doing, they will value money and they will create more wealth.
Mhm.
There's a difference, right? Because my kids,
Right.
they had soccer. I mean, not soccer. They had football, rugby. My son never missed practices. My daughter's on cheer and gymnastics. I told them if they want to do that, they have to wake up in the morning. I don't wake them up in the morning. They're diligent. They go out there and now they're at their jobs, right? Working right
Yeah.
now. My daughter has cheer afterwards. This is something that the kids have to see the value in who they are. And when you don't value yourself, you won't charge what you're doing, right? It's not your worth, it's what you can do, right?
Mhm.
And so this comes back down to our abundance thinking.
Yeah.
So right now I started investing in myself because of my son. I love that. I love that because now my kids, they do fly first class. My kids have everything you could possibly want, but my kids are the most generous, giving people. Both of them are at a job right now. And what
Mhm.
I'm trying to tell you is that you can raise your children, you can create a life for you. Everybody around you will shift when you start thinking this way. So think about attracting people. You're going online, you're doing this challenge right now. And this is something that I tell everybody. You go out there with your phone, you get in your stories and you pop it up and you make one story. You do one thing, right? You say, I have this offer, I'm doing this. That could turn into somebody coming and be like, hey, I want to work with them. But what about if you do this every day? You pick up your phone to scroll, just scrolling mindlessly, doing nothing. And then you're like, I don't know why I don't have any money. I don't know why it's not working. Well, did you put an offer out there? Did you do something?
Mhm.
No, I'm afraid of doing that. I don't know. I don't think anybody's gonna buy. I don't, people are gonna make fun of me. And people, I don't want to be seen.
Mhm.
It's not gonna work. Okay. When people tell me it's not gonna work, I'm like, you're right.
Yep.
I don't try to convince you. You're right.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
have an opportunity right now to learn so many cool things. And look at Jonathan, 4 years. He has 80,000 subscribers or maybe more now on YouTube. He's created millions doing this. And he's showing you. I mean, like if I didn't know what to do online, I would come do what he's doing right now because the framework was right there. All you have to do is get out of your own way. So for people who want and desire this, you can create so much in your life. Am I right?
Yeah. So good. Yeah.
And so what I want you guys to do, I'm going to tell you a story. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'm going to tell you a story.
No, this is great. Keep going.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a story.
Let's
Yeah,
hear it.
Monte Carlo. Guess what? Dream big. Stephanie, I got invited to Monte Carlo for Formula One, which is on May 26th, to be on a super yacht.
Dude, that's so cool.
But my son was graduating from high school the same day. So I was like, Monte Carlo, my kid graduating. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I skipped it. But the fact is, yeah, because it happens every year to go Formula One.
Yep, it'll be happening, yeah.
In a place where all the money and wealth is at, hell yeah, I would go there, be around that, because we are, you know, if you are around people who are in abundance thinking, guess what? Your abundance grows. But if you have people that are complaining about money and they're, you know, they have this limited mindset around there, it makes you feel limited because you're afraid to say, yeah, I want to be rich. That's why I created these communities, because the women in my world are like, yes, I want to be rich. I want to have all the money, and they don't feel bad about it. Right. They're okay with it. So find your group and be around people that are going to celebrate and want, like when you say Monte Carlo, the first thing I'm like, hell yeah, let's go, you know, let's do that, because then it puts some plants in my mind. I get to live such a big life and I get to dream. So going to Europe is a really big deal, right? Like I want to go over there. That's going to cost money to go over there. So if I start living in the reality and connecting to my emotional state about going to Europe and giving my kids that dream, guess what? I'll start making money that's going to come feed the dream. That's how it works. Because the universe doesn't know the difference between a penny and a million, right? So if you celebrate the things that are in your life, you celebrate the money, you celebrate the ideas, you want to have big dreams, that is going to start creating the be right now for you. And then you can go with the do have. So the be is so important. I'll get to tell you a story. So 4 or 5 years ago, it had a big click. Well, anyway, I used to be in bodybuilding competitions, and I've been in the gym for a lot of years, 37 years. I've been lifting weights, and that's why I look so young. And so I've been lifting weights for a very long time, and it's one of the things that keeps me driven is to go to the gym. It's like one of my things, this is my driving factor. And it keeps my mindset expanded because you know, I would always get out of my comfort zone, lifting more weight, et cetera, et cetera. So but I was addicted to coffee. And I realized that I was drinking too much coffee. I was going for my like third Americano one day at a drive-through, and I don't do sugar and milk because I was training at the time. And I was like, Shamina, you're addicted to coffee. We need to figure something out. So then I came upon matcha tea, and matcha has a little bit less caffeine in it, but I had this new drink now. This woman introduced me to matcha tea at Starbucks, and all it was 4 scoops of matcha steamed in water. And they were like, that'll be 80 cents. I was like, what you talk about? 80 cents? I was like, yes, 80 cents. Cause I lived for discounts and sales.
Yeah.
If it had a red ticket, I was buying it. I might not have wore it, but I was buying it because I only bought things that were on sale because that's what I was programmed to do. Never full price for anything because that's the money mindset I had, because I could waste money. My mom would tell me, not anymore, because money is reoccurring all the time. So I was 80 cents, and then I was living my best life, you know, ordering my 80 cents matcha till Starbucks was like, no, yeah, we have to charge you now. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, you need to pay, you know, $2.75. And it wasn't even for a drink that was on the menu, but they were looking and seeing that everybody was, you know, doing this matcha and water thing. So then I flipped out. I was like, what do you mean you're charging me $2.75? I go, there's no way I'm paying for this. This is ridiculous. It's the same thing. It's just nothing's changed. And I started getting crazy. I started calling the regional manager. I started calling people because I was freaking out. Anyway.
For $1.
It was like, yeah, it was going crazy.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. Then guess what? They raised the price again to like $3.78. Guess who freaked out again? Then they raised the price to $4.85. By the way, nothing's changed with this drink. And I freaked out again. And I was in the line, and I was with my kids, and they always knew that every time I would get these increases in price, they always knew, oh God, she's doing the thing at the Starbucks again. Mom's gonna embarrass us. Like, is she gonna argue with these people over the drink? Just pay the price, lady, and leave. But what I figured out was this. As I was sitting in there and I was getting triggered by the new price, I was triggered. I realized that I had the money to pay for these drinks. But what was triggering me? Because I stopped and I said, Shamina, what was triggering you? Why are you so upset? So I did the work that I teach. I'm like, why are you so upset that this corporation is raising their price? They have every right to, by the way. They have every right to do that. Why are you so triggered? And you get into like, your crazy state, where it brings out the old Shamina, right? Why? And I realized in that moment that I felt betrayed by Starbucks. That how dare they give me something at such a discounted rate? And this is my subconscious, how our subconscious works. And how dare you keep raising the price at me and asking me for more money? How dare you do that to me? And so I got so triggered. And in that moment, things had shifted for me, right? I decided to buy my drink in peace because I had the money. I decided to pay for the people behind me. And then my daughter goes, what about the people behind them? I'm like, okay, I'll pay for them too. I had to ask first because if they're buying $100 worth of stuff, I wasn't gonna do that, right? But then I paid for the people behind me. And then my son goes, what about the people behind them? I said, okay, I'll do that too. Paid for the people behind me. I tipped my barista $20 and I left the drive-through feeling so empowered. I was like, oh, because I loved my matcha tea. I'd been drinking it every day. It was my favorite thing. It was something that made me so happy, low in calories. It was like something I could do. And I drove out of that driveway. Before I hit the light, I had $10,000 at my Stripe account.
Wow.
So what I'm telling you right now is you might not know where your limits are and how you're looking at money and what you're doing with it because you are having an emotional connection to something else that has nothing to do with money. But when we spend money, our shit comes up. Like, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to swear, but our stuff comes up. And this is what happens, right? So for me, I was able to clear. My father had betrayed me. I had a big betrayal. You can go look at my story. My father had betrayed me as a child. And so that betrayal I kept with me and I felt like a victim. And when you're in victim, guess what? You're not in abundance, you're in scarcity. You're in lack because when you have that victim mentality come up, you cannot be in abundance. Sharita said, mind blown. Yeah. So to protect your name, right? And so you don't know where that's happening. I used to go to Costco and guess what? When I was at Costco, I would get so anxious about buying food because the discount person in me wanted, and I would go in the store and I would buy all kinds of stuff right away. Cause when you have those samples, when they used to do samples, you would buy the whole thing because you'd feel bad because you ate about 6 samples and you shouldn't have. And so you buy the box, right? I don't know who's been there, but that was me. But I would leave and I would be worried about spending $300 because it was so much money at Costco because I knew most of that stuff would go to waste, but I was buying it because it was a discount. Now I'd use Instacart. And when I first started using Instacart, that would trigger me too because I'm like, I could go to the grocery store myself and buy stuff. But you know what? Instacart's actually saving me money because I'm not going there. It's not a money-making move for me to go buy my own groceries, but I'm only buying things that I actually need now as opposed to going there. And I used to pay and pray before, and now it's different. So I shifted how things are, right? So what I would say for you is when you go to use your money and you go to invest or you go to spend or whatever it is, find out what gets triggered inside of you. What kind of emotional thing are you exchanging for it, right? How are you feeling? Because for me, that $4 tea every day is my money making move. It's something that makes me feel like a wealthy woman because I know that I can buy it and I can enjoy it and I can have it. You don't have to go buy a Rolex. You don't have to go buy a G-Wagon. You don't have to buy Cartier. You don't have to. But what is it that's going to make you feel wealthy? And for me, that was it. And guess what? It helped me uncover one of the biggest money blocks I had had. And it was a wound that was not even associated with money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. Yeah. It's crazy that you mentioned that because I had the same thing when I would go to Starbucks. I would get this nitro cold brew, and I still continue to do it every day. And it gives you that feeling like, okay, I can do this. I can afford it. And it's weird because I did that when I was first starting out, like back in 2020, and I continue to do it. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I always tell people that this nitro cold brew is what helped me get out of my job because that was the first thing I would do. Crazy.
That's crazy. Okay, so he's doing it, what I'm teaching, but he's not active about it because he knows it makes him feel good. Like Jonathan's doing something that makes him feel good, and most like Dave Ramsey and everybody will tell you the first thing you cut out is your Starbucks, and I'm like, no, that's the thing that you must keep because if it brings you happiness and makes you feel good, then you need to keep the thing, right? Now, I'm not saying to go buy things when you don't have money because that's silly, right? We don't do that. We don't put ourselves in debt because of that. I'm talking if there's something that you desire and it's not too extravagant, go buy it right now. Make it feel a certain way with you. And someone said, why do we procrastinate? I need to make more money. And I know I'm going to do this. Now I'll tell you why you procrastinate. You procrastinate because you're trying to have everything figured out before you move. And sometimes
Mhm.
people procrastinate because they're in a trauma response. They're like, I'm afraid to move forward. And if I do, I could fail. One of the things I would do is start regulating your nervous system. This is something that I had to do with money, and I had to do with a lot of things. And this is why working out helps me regulate and ground myself and regulate my nervous system. Meditation did it too. And because your nervous system will be talking to you, even though your mind's like, I know I need to go do this thing. And then inside your nervous system will go, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid. Or you get paralyzed in it, right? So this is deeper than just you being lazy. This is because you're like, this is not safe for me to move forward. So
Yeah.
working on your breathing, doing breath work is really important. I had to start working on opening my heart because I had a very closed heart after all the trauma I had been through. And so if you can't have an open heart to receive, you're not able to, like, I love, but I couldn't receive tons of love because my heart was closed. So I
Yeah.
believe that as women, we need to receive, and more money comes to us the more that we are in our feminine energy, right? I believe men and money are the same. And so men and money, they want to serve us and they want to help us. And guys are like, well, what about us? Listen, most of my male friends that are making millions of dollars, they're in their masculine doing stuff, but they also know how to tap into that feminine, which is like the your God energy, your knowingness, your creativity, that knowing when not to push, when to be still,
Yeah.
in that moment. And so for you, I would go and start working on just saying, you know what? I know this fear is coming up right now, and do deep breaths until you can start feeling the calmness in you. Like, like feeling that really, like, you have to regulate that nervous system because most people have a dysregulated nervous system, and that's why they're actually not taking action. So just, I had to sit there and go, I'm safe. I'm safe. Money's always here to support me. I'm always safe. I'm everything's going to be okay. Like, I know right now I'm forever supported by money, forever supported by the masculine, forever supported because I've trained myself to
Yeah.
believe that. And if you believe money's always there and you're always going to have the thing, you will go do the thing without the fear there.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. And what's crazy is, I think just to add to the procrastination thing, part of that is that because, and you mentioned this in the beginning, I think a lot of people are trying to be perfect, right? Oh, I don't want to post my first video. I don't want to throw out my first funnel because, I'm not good at making videos or whatever. And that's what I see as far as procrastination. And you said perfectionism is
Scarcity.
scarcity mindset, which is crazy because I was like, that's one thing I've never been is like a perfectionist. I'm just like, okay, we're throwing this out, spelling
Yeah.
errors, like whatever. So that's interesting that you mentioned that though, because I don't know if you agree with that, but I feel like if you're procrastinating, a part of it is because you're trying to make sure everything's 100% ready to go. So
Yeah, I'll tell you what perfectionism is, and it's also people pleasing. It's also a scarcity mindset. So perfectionism is a very subjective thing because, you know, your level of perfectionism, Jonathan, and mine might be at a different level. Like you
yeah,
might be like, here, this is ready to go, roll. This is what, like, men are really great at this. The men that take action, they're like,
yeah,
oh, the wheels are turning. Let's move it. Let's jump in the car. Let's go.
that's
Where some
me.
people are like, does it have an engine? Is it working? They're like, no, it's working. We'll figure it out as we go
Yeah,
along. Right.
exactly. That's how I
And
am.
so, yeah, I know. And so that's why you're so successful because you're not sitting there waiting for the car to be perfect to drive it. You're like, no, I'll
Mhm.
find the parts on the way. And so I feel like when people are sitting there deciding that things have to be perfect for the move, I need to have the right camera, the right lighting. You have a phone, and you're getting prompts and you're able to go do the thing. Doing it messy makes me millions. I say this all the time. The moment I stopped being perfectionist is because I stopped caring what people think about me.
Mhm.
Perfectionism is because I want it to be perfect because I care what people think. Now stay with me. And I said it was a scarcity mindset. Now stay with me. Why is that important? So scarcity means that somebody told you you weren't perfect. Someone had said something to you to make you feel that when you showed up authentically yourself in your truth, doing who you are, it wasn't good enough. And because it wasn't good enough, you don't take action now. But what if you decide that you are good enough today? What if you decide that you've done the best you could with what you could with where you are right now? You are amazing. You pour love into yourself and you take action in that energy. That would be so different than sitting there go, things have to be perfect. Let me figure out, we're creating a funnel right now. And I'm not a big funnel girl. I did a lot of my stuff organic. Believe it or not, I didn't do Facebook ads. He's a genius. And one of our buddies, Shant, is going to start helping me out. You go, Shant. And so, but these guys figured out marketing better than I did. I started my business all organic because I just started posting. I just had a camera like this, and that's all I did to create my millions because I didn't know about all this marketing stuff. I didn't get a chance to get this amazing knowledge that you're getting from Jonathan right now. I didn't know. So I just kind of posted, see what it was. But you know what I did? I spoke from my heart. Everything that I created came from a B place. It came from a place of I cared about people. I cared about connecting with people. Connection and emotions are so important because they create this value with people that are following you. If you can create and talk from a story place and you can connect to people, guess what? You are going to have raving fans. You're going to have people supporting you, want to know what's going on. They're going to trust you. And this is all rooted back into your mindset. It's all rooted into your scarcity or abundance. Because most people who have unhealed trauma or things that are going on in them, unfortunately, or they have belief systems that stop them, they care about what people think and they don't show up authentically themselves. And so they stop doing the thing that they came here to do in this world. One of the things I told my clients the other day, it's 11:11, is that I said, you can let fear run you, right? You can let what people think about you. But what you're doing is you're just stopping the existence of what you came here to do in this lifetime. I believe every single one of you on here has an opportunity. It came with something so unique to share in the world. But if we let the things that are keeping us, holding us back, like keeping us playing small, stop that, then how many lives are you not going to change? If I let my insecurities and things that I didn't get over, so many thousands of women's lives wouldn't get changed because I didn't do the thing that I came here and incarnated to do in this lifetime. Right. So, what I would do is find, if you know that you're not taking action, there's a reason. There's a reason. Instead of calling yourself lazy or instead of going to watch TV and numb out, because I don't know how many of you are actually present here right now. Are you on this call or are you scrolling on your phone doing something else? People who take life seriously is because they're present. And I'll tell you one thing. They're not multitasking, but sometimes people who do multitask is because it's a trauma response because they can't be still. They're busybodies. They don't know how to focus. They don't know how to just take the information. And you signed up for this challenge. You better go to every single one of these things and be here because it's here for you, right? Sharita said, I know you're present, Sharita, because so how many of you are present here? I want a roll call right now. Are you present? Right?
Mia said 100% present.
And how many of you are in and you ready to change your life? Are you here to do it? How much of this call shifted you? Because I'll tell you, we are all consciousness, right? And my job is to help shift and awaken people's consciousness. I want you to see life in a different way. And I want to shift your wealth consciousness so you can understand that there's more out there. But if you live in it's not going to work, this is not for me, you're concerned about gossip, or you're leaving yourself into the blame, or you're telling a story over and over again because you can't stop living in your past, you're bringing it into your present and your future, you're blocking yourself from this creation of what you can have, right?
Yeah.
Hi, baby girl. My daughter just came home from her job today. She got up really early. Come say hi real quick. This is my friend Jonathan, and he's got hundreds of people on his challenge. You see how buff she is because she hits the gym every day. Remember, kids, watch what you do. Oh, she's flexing for you. Yeah, good. I'm so excited. We're gonna celebrate. Okay, all right. She got to go cheer. But I'm a real mom. I'm like, this is life, right? This is how we do things. Right. And I told you, my daughter, she has a job and she hits the gym. She's dedicated. Anyways, but what I'm trying to tell you is you can be the person today, or you can be the person that exists in you, like the person that it has everything that you want in the future. You have to be her right in him right now. Right now. I can't see the screen that went well because of all the tears.
Wow. That's so crazy.
Listen, I want to tell you guys, I needed this video. What did you say? I needed this video more than the last 3 videos. I'm so happy. I'll tell you, what I teach is game changing. And, Jonathan wouldn't have had me on this today if he didn't also feel what I was teaching. Because I feel like as our parents did the best they could, right? But our parents didn't come up to us and say, Johnny, how you feeling?
Yeah.
What is your emotions? It was like, what can you go do in the world? Because they want you to have the skills to go succeed, right? They wanted that for us, but they didn't realize that being emotional and being able to be in our emotions and being powerful and having mastery over it is the thing that's going to change the game for us out in the world. Remember, your subconscious is being programmed by your emotions all the time.
Mhm.
So if you are in a state of belief and faith and that this is going to work, that's what you're programming yourself for, right? If you feel you're worthy, guess what? Much more worthiness comes. You see people out there with massive success, and you're like, what did they have to? This is what I always say. What did they have to believe in themselves to have that success? And I'll
Mhm.
tell you one thing: they had to believe that it was going to work.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's it,
Deep.
right?
So deep, so deep. No, real quick, Shamina. I don't know how much time you have left, but I definitely
Just
want people.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want people to follow you real quick, just so
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Okay,
let me pull up your account real
before
quick.
before I get anywhere, I want Sierra. Can you pass Mommy's book for a second? Can you grab my book? It's on the counter in the living room. And yeah, so if
And
you listen to podcasts, I would go, okay, follow me on Instagram. And by the way, I grow someone looked at my account. I have every real person is on there. These are real people that follow my account. And you're like, well, she should have millions already. I didn't buy any of my followers. I like to be authentic. But I have a lot of people who are willing to do the work in my audience. Just show up and be yourself. Don't worry about the size of your account, right? Just show up and keep doing it and grow. And I grew that in 3 years. You can do it too. So
yeah,
keep going. Now, Instagram, follow me there. You can
yeah.
follow me on my podcast. It's called Unapologetically Rich. Go binge it. You will enjoy it. Men, you can listen to it too. A lot of men have been doing it. And YouTube, we just started our YouTube account. It is growing every day. And literally, we've gotten like 4,000 subscribers in the last month. So we're at over 5,000 subscribers right now. And let me tell you something. Yeah. By the way, Jonathan showed me some of his program for his YouTube. And I'll tell you, we're doing another women's program, but I think it's just the energy of being around Jonathan because he's like the YouTube king. It literally, like, my account's just growing and growing and growing. So go check out my YouTube. And like, all of our videos are doing over 1,000. I think it's really great. Yeah, exactly.
I love that
Be rich.
thumbnail, by the way.
Isn't that great? My team did that.
Yeah,
Isn't that great? Yeah.
so cool.
And this is my book, Unlocking the Quantum Woman. Men have read this. Don't worry. It's on Amazon. It's got over 100. It's got over 100 5-star reviews. This book will change your life, right? And then if you're a woman, come join my Quantum Woman community. I needed this so bad. I started following on IG and I got your Daily Money CEO Making Moves and your podcast. Wow, need to sign up for YouTube right now. Yay, let's go. Let's go.
Good, so good. And Shamina,
Yeah.
you actually weren't you going through I think you're going through Freedom Breakthrough, but the YouTube part of things, right?
Yes, yeah. I still got to go through all of it, but I think just touching his stuff just makes your stuff go viral. I'm just serious. Like, I've never met someone more dedicated to helping people the way Jonathan is. Like, he is.
Wow, thank
And
you.
I'm just going to just blow him up a little bit right now because there's so many fake people in this industry. And I hate to say that, but there's people who are here just because they want to be rich, but they don't really want to help you get wealthy and successful. Jonathan is so different. He knows, he's so dedicated to helping you do this because he did it himself. And you can tell when people have that like burning, like they want to just give to the world and they want you to see what's possible for you because it was possible for him. So
You're making me tear up over here.
yeah, literally, like, he's a good person. And so I want you guys to really take advantage. I don't know, how many more days do you have of this challenge? How many more days is it?
We're barely starting. We have I think till the 16th, so 10 more days.
Okay. 16.
Wild.
So keep what I've taught you. Watch this video over and over. And this is what I would do. Any video or any of the ones that really stood out to you, watch them over and over again because you're going to hear something for the second time and something's going to click because you're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember that, but now I see it differently, right? And so you're going to be able to absorb this information in a different way because this is a mindset trick. It's a hack. Because sometimes when you were multitasking or you only heard one thing, you might not have got everything, right? You listen to it again. And there's going to be a click. Someone said, I wish I started with Jonathan a year ago instead of those other people. Jonathan is a real deal. That's all I got to say. If there's anything he's selling, buy. Yeah.
Appreciate
and
that.
And anything I can help you with, come work with me. Jonathan, can we ask them for a couple questions or no? They want
I'm good.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see the view count, but we're literally going up. We started with like 110. We're like close to, with all platforms, we're probably close to 200 live right now. So.
That's amazing. See this? 200 live people. All right, let's go. Who has questions for me? Come on, let's go. Just ordered your
Let's
book. Let's
do this.
go.
Let's do
Come on.
this.
What
Oh,
questions do you guys have?
while we're waiting for the questions to come in, it's crazy because like you were saying, let's just get in the car and go. Like when I did this challenge, we did it like 3 weeks ago. My CO Brian, he's like, we should do a challenge. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then he was like, let's do it 14 days. I'm like, oh, that's a lot. Okay. I announced it. I had no speakers within like 2 days, like all these speakers, like just and amazing speakers, like you and some amazing Instagram people, you too. Like it was just crazy. And that's because I was like, we're going to do it. We're gonna fill in the gaps, and we're gonna get some amazing people. It was just crazy. Like I was a little nervous, but I was like, let's just do it. You know what I
I
mean?
want to comment on that. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is him tapping into his higher self and his creativity. He got an idea. He didn't wait for the idea to be perfect. He took action on it. This
Mhm.
is a difference between people who are in the 1% and people aren't, because he's like, he got the hit. He got the download. He got, God spoke to him in that moment and he said, "Hey, I need to do this to reach more people. Let's do it." And he acted on it. He didn't go, "Well, let me go sit in my lab and figure out all the things." That's how I operate. Exactly how he does. When I get an idea, my team goes, "All right, let's go." And you need a
Go
team
go
that can
go.
support you. I'm like, I get an idea. I'm like, "All right, I want to do this. Let's go." And so they're already working, because that's the magic, right? That's tapping
Yeah.
into the I can do this, because that type of energy goes so much faster, and it
Yeah.
breeds, because guess what? You're having fun. This sounds like a great idea. Like, let me go do it right now. This sounds fun. And when things are fun, you make more money, you
Yeah.
connect. And most people won't even do 5-day challenges anymore. Like, he set himself up to, like, and people like us, like as service providers, people don't even do 5-day challenges. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about the people watching. Most people don't even stay on and watch a challenge after 3 days, because
Yeah.
they lose track. They go here, and especially if something's free, they
Yeah.
won't. And if you see who he's brought in, and I know he's probably going to wrap this up and sell it, so you get the opportunity, stay with this. How many people are going to be committed to watching this all the way through? I'd like to hear it now in the comments.
So cool. That's so cool that you mentioned that. It was funny because my guy Brian, my COO, he was like, I was gonna do 7 days. He's like, no, let's go 14. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then so it was cool because like my whole team is amazing and they have like the energy that I have, because I'm like,
You
I'm
have
tough
to.
to be around. Like, I mean, we were in Mexico, you saw me, I was like ADD all over the place, but that's how I am with the business. And I think it's my superpower. I'm like, let's do
It
this.
is.
Going in, boom, boom, boom. And my team can, they stay with me even though I'm all over the place. And I'm like, okay, we're doing this. And yeah, it's crazy, but it's so much fun. I love this thing. I love this game so much.
Do you see? He called it a game. This is so fun. He doesn't even look like this is work, because
Yeah.
he's now treated. I don't look at this as work either. I'm like, I have another call at 12, but I'm like, and I'm going to go eat some breakfast before and talk to my daughter before my call. I have a call at 12 with my group. I have a Millionaire Mindset group that I have at 12, but that's fun. I'm like, I'll never miss that call. I was at in Maryland at, we're in a similar group together, and I was taking the call in the next room, because I'm like, this is fun. I'll never miss this call. I can work
Oh,
wherever I
that's cool.
want. And
Yeah.
so, all right, I'm gonna look here. Everybody's committed. We're saying people committed. And if you don't take action on your things, like, you could be getting an idea right now on this challenge for an offer or to do something. Don't wait till the challenge is over. Start doing it, and then tell Jonathan, "Hey, I took action because I listened to something and I made money." This is like, he needs to hear this. This is something really good. So take action on whatever it is. This has been so awesome. I've learned every day. My life taught me that money isn't happiness. You know what? It's not that money isn't happiness, right? And I think that's the misconception. Money can do things for us to become happier. Let's say, like, you want to go take your family on a trip, right? Money, you need money for that. You want to buy, hire a ghostwriter to buy a book that could change millions of people's lives. That's different, right? But when you think that money is supposed to bring you happiness, you have a discontorted, I don't know what the word is, but it's like, it's not connected to the belief of what money is. And again, if you think money and happiness are tied together and it's a bad thing, guess what? You won't make any money, because you'll be pushing money away. So oh
Um,
my God, he's so quick with this. It's
oh
so
yeah, so
awesome.
I was trying to get your book. Someone asked what's the name of your book, so I just want to throw it up there
Yeah.
again.
I'm
I'm not
100%
from the
sure
phone. I'm
about the
learning.
14 days. The value in this challenge is untouched. Oh my God, I'm going to go start listening to some of this stuff. How to switch from an introvert to a person who can start over online. Okay, Alma, What I would do is I've seen a lot of people doing faceless marketing. See if you can start doing that or get B-roll, just you walking down the street and then you
Yeah.
can put content on top of it. Jonathan can tell you more, but I've seen a lot of people do this, right? Where you can still have the message, you can still start creating, but you're not showing your face. So try doing some of that first, or you can take somebody else's reel and mix it in with something that you're doing. That's what I would do. And being an introvert, I think I'm an extrovert, but sometimes I'm very introverted because I really like my downtime. So even though I
Mhm.
might seem very out there, I balance the two energies. You can be extroverted online Alma, but then you are introverted Alma on the rest of the world, right? You can have a persona.
Yeah.
Doesn't that Beyonce have her, she has her alter ego? Create one for
Yeah.
yourself.
Well,
Create an alter ego.
believe it or not, I think I'm pretty sure I'm an introvert. I mean, I don't know. What do you
Yeah,
think?
right.
You think
I
or
mean,
no?
no, you're pretty outgoing, but I think
I
you're
think
doing what
now
I'm
I
doing
am.
too. I think you want your introverted time too. Like
Yeah.
when you're not being Jonathan superstar, you need your introvert time where you're with your
Right.
family or by yourself or like in have your line because you need that.
Yeah.
When you're creating this, you need that. So I don't know. You're a pretty outgoing guy though.
Yeah. I think now I've definitely grown into that. But anyways, here's a question from Holly. It says, curious about debt. Is it fear?
So I look at debt is how much debt are we talking about here? So this is the way I looked at it. When I started, all of my credit cards were maxed out. And man, it was maxed out. I was going to events, paying for programs on my cards, and I had never had any debt on my credit cards because that's the way my mother was a mortgage broker. I was raised not to do that. But getting divorced, I was never going to ask anybody for help. I was going to do it on
Mm,
my own. And so I had 3 cards and I would literally pay off a little bit and keep them going. And I got won myself up into, a couple $1,000s there in debt. And the way I looked at it was this. I looked at the programs that I was buying was that it was like going to school. I was like investing in myself with tuition, and this was tuition money, putting things on my card because I didn't have the money to buy things. I didn't have the cash flow at the time. So I revised debt and I looked at it as not being something bad. Now I looked at it as that it's getting me to the place I need to go. Mind you, I wasn't putting like Chipotle on my credit card. I wasn't doing things
yeah.
that were like I wasn't going out and buying and I don't think anything is stupid crap, but I wasn't going out buying things that weren't going to produce a value for me in the end, if that makes sense. Like if it was going to make me feel great, but I wasn't doing things that didn't have an extended value. So I looked at my
Yeah.
credit card as being a means to an end to get me where I had to go. And I was just borrowing the money and I was borrowing it at a certain interest rate. That's kind of how I looked at the credit cards. And, you know, most highly successful people will tell you not to pay off your house. They'll tell you to go take all the equity out and leverage that debt and go invest it in something else that could be an income producing asset for you, right? So it's different how you look at debt. I don't believe that debt is a bad thing anymore. I look at it as being something that it's just a means to an end of where I have to go. But if you're always living behind the 8 ball and you're always living in a place of I never have enough money, you need to start getting into a state of what do I have now that's going to grow my abundance? I feel like if you can have money coming in every day, this is a great way of doing it. Like when I was starting, I learned how to be a Reiki healer. Like if you go look at my story, you'll see all the things like lawyer, what's she doing? Yeah, because I had a spiritual awakening. All these things were happening to me. I
Yeah.
decided to become a Reiki healer. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to do some Reiki healing while I was doing my law stuff. And I was charging, at least I was on the high end of it, but I would do that to feel the cash coming in. So I'd have people come in and they would pay me. But every moment that I would feel of this money coming in, it made me feel really good. Like I was wealthy. Even right now, we have low ticket items that we sell. And even when my phone pings off, I looked at my phone. I'm like, oh, I made, $32. I made $8. I made this. It makes me feel like I'm in the circulation of wealth. So that's what I concentrate on more than what's sitting there as a debt.
Mhm.
Obviously, all my debt is paid in full right now, except my house. But before it wasn't. So get yourself into the feeling that there's money there. I'm growing my abundance. I'm feeling more abundant. If you find a penny on the ground, literally like scream and yell like, holy crap, I found a penny. And
Mm.
I do this all the time. It was in Vegas once, and there's always change on the ground. I was
Yeah.
having fun picking up the money, and my friends are like, they're millionaires, like, what are you doing? I'm like, I found money. Are you kidding me? I am not stepping over this penny. I'm picking up, putting it in my purse. Every
That's cool.
time I find money, I was at my son's football game. I found a $5 bill. I'll still think about that. I found $5 just sitting on the ground. And before I hit the parking lot, I found $10. I was like, money just wants to come to me. Like, do you know how excited I get about that money? I celebrate it because even though I'll get a, $20,000 payment hit my account, that makes me feel so good. All money's money, right? So
Yeah.
get into the celebration of what you do have and what you don't have, Holly. Don't look at the debt, because if you keep looking at the debt, you're going to be in the I owe energy. This is why I think a lot of doctors, when they graduate medical school, especially, and lawyers too, but I didn't graduate that same kind of debt. They already owe thousands and thousands, a couple $100,000. They're already in the I owe energy. And if you live in that I owe energy, what happens is you're already in the scarcity mindset. So look at debt as being debt, but don't let debt be who you are. It's just a means to an end. It's right there, and it will be paid off. That's how you have to look at it. I would sit there and do the Susie Orman thing. I'm like if I owed on these 3 credit cards, I would pay off one credit card. I'd pay all 3, but then I'd take the one that has the lowest balance and I'd pay that one off first. And then I would take that payment and put it to the next credit card payment. And that's how I really got out of my debt. And I just allowed myself to be in it's just debt. It's not who I am. Okay. Money is energy. Yeah. I was in the elevator once with Jack Nicholson, at a bank, and there was a nickel on the ground, and he picked it up and said, and the rich get richer. I'm telling you, look, that's a great story because,
That's cool.
you see at the clubs when people are throwing $1 bills. This is my last story. I'll tell you about this, but I was in Vegas and I went there to see, I got into the club, but this is back when I used to be a gal who used to party a lot. And it was actually 2018. And I went there. I didn't have any tickets to get in there. And I was with my friend, and I got in, and he got left behind, but I went in there, had a good time. People were throwing money in the air. And I was like, what are they doing? They're throwing dollar bills in the air. Guess who was picking them up? I literally opened up my purse and I let the money come in. I got into the place for free, so I didn't even pay to go seek Future. And then I left there with like, I don't know, $103. And I had everything paid for me.
So cool.
Because the way people disrespected money, I was like, I am not going to ever disrespect money. I respect the things that I value. So it comes down to even something like that. Like, I don't need to throw a bunch of ones in the air to show people I have money, right? It's just a respect of how you do things. So think about how you look at things in this meaning you sign to it. How about
here's I don't know if there's any specific ones. I'm just kind of pulling them up.
Yeah.
So but here's one that's good. Is it possible for someone to be afraid or scared of success? I saw that question like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
wanted to pull this one up.
This is the biggest limiter that most people have. And I'll tell you why. You are going to be fully seen if you are successful. What will happen if you are very successful? You will be fully seen by everybody. And then what's the other side? You could lose it. It could go away. So many times people don't play full out. They don't play their full potential. It's not the fear of success. It's the fear of, what if I am successful and then I lose it? And it goes away. And that usually is deeply rooted in an abandonment wound, because something happened that was so great in your life and then it left. And so what I would do is I would invite you to go into a story about where you had something that was so great in your life, that was so amazing, but then turned around that you lost it. And so people are not totally afraid of their potential. They're afraid of, what if I turn it all the way up and then I can't hold it there? I can't keep it. I can't sustain it. I can't keep it going. And that's where you got to have a strong belief in yourself. So small ways that you can do that is keeping your word to yourself. My word to myself is going to the gym. If I say I'm going to go to the gym, I go to the gym. If I'm going to keep working out, if I say I'm going to eat healthy this week, I'm going to eat healthy this week. If I say that I'm going to get up and do XYZ, I'm going to do it. If I say I'm going to walk for 30 days for the next 30, I'm going to walk 30 minutes for the next 30 days, I'm going to do it. I keep doing small increments of keeping my word to myself. And so what it does is no matter what happens in the world, even if the success should come and go, no matter what, because things outside of my control, right? I only can control me and my emotions. This is why I teach self-mastery. It's one of the most important emotional self-mastery. I teach emotional self-mastery because if I can feel safe, trusting I have my own back and I do what I say I'm going to do, then it doesn't matter what happens in the world or what happens in my business. I know that I always can count on myself. Right now, you guys don't know how to count on yourself, and that's what you have to grow on.
Wow. So good. Thank you so much.
Jonathan knows how to count on himself. He goes, I know I'm going to do it. He was doing the Murph challenge and he got a bunch of people at his house. I mean, because he's
Did you see
crazy.
that? Did you see
Yeah,
the
I
video?
saw, and I was like, he believes in himself so much. People jump on his belief because they're like, if he can do it, I can do it. And that's
Yeah.
what you need to do. So if you still have that fear of believing in yourself, watch other people like me and him and whoever else you connect to and be like, they still keep believing themselves because him and I are very similar. We have to wake up every day and be like, you're good enough, you're great enough, you can do this, right? It's constantly feeding into that because unworthiness and you're not good enough will always come up. It'll always be there for me, but I have to tell it no. And the only way I can tell it no is to go do the thing that tells me I can't do. The more that you do the thing that you're afraid to do, the stronger that muscle will get built in you.
Yeah, that's interesting. So like, do you still have those thoughts then? Like,
Oh, of course.
okay. Yeah. Cause I it happens all the time. Like, there'll be some weeks I'm like, okay, I'm crushing, I'm best, and then there's just some weeks where I'm like, man, I haven't done anything. I'm just like, it's just weird. It's just this weird feeling that like, no matter how much success I get, I always feel like I haven't done enough. It's just weird. So I got to, like you said, I just got to train myself.
That's
And,
it.
and there's levels to the game, right? I mean, I
Yes.
think from what I've seen, it doesn't matter if you've done 100 million or you've done $1,000, like you still feel that same way. It's just weird. And I just being
The
conscious
higher
of it now.
Yeah, the higher you go up, I think the worse it gets too. Because
Yeah.
it's like when I hit 7 figures, I was like, "Oh my gosh," like I almost had I got depressed. I was like, "What's going on here?"
Mhm.
This is like I felt like I was leaving everybody behind. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this." And then my mentors at the time said, "Oh, you hit the 7-figure hit. You hit that part." I would like there's a new mindset that comes in. I'm like, "Why didn't anybody tell me?" They're like, "'Cause you have to hit it." And it's
Yeah.
because when you hit a new level, you
Mhm.
outgrow people. And one of our deepest core things as humans is to feel like we
Mhm.
belong. And so when we
Mhm.
start becoming so successful, we're afraid of leaving people behind. So Jonathan has this thing is he wants everybody to come with him, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
We talked
talked
about
about
this.
that. We talked about this. I'm like, he wants everybody to come with him. And so that
Yeah.
sometimes holds him back from his success. And so for many people, they know they should be already at this top level, but they're
Mhm.
like, well, what will happen, if I fall from such a high, the higher I go, the bigger I get, the bigger the fall. And then how many people
Mhm.
I'm going to leave behind me. So we're so afraid to go be the truest version of ourselves because we're going to leave people behind. But let me tell you something. You came here, you're on this call, you're watching this. You were meant for greatness. You were meant for greatness. You've stayed this long on this video. You are meant for greatness. Do not deny yourself of that, right? And so some people are not going to come with us on our journey, and you've got to be okay with that. You're going to drop off friends. You're going to start thinking and being in a different way. People are not going to grow with you. You're going to have to learn to be okay with your own self, like be
Mhm.
alone by yourself. Like, not everybody is going to come along, and you're going to see that your mindset's going to shift and people are not going to think the same way. And you're going to still want them in your life. You can keep them at arm's length, especially the family. You can't really get rid of all of them. But, you have to realize that when you are headed for the next level, like Wayne Dyer is one of the teachers that came to me when I was having my spiritual journey. And he said, success, sometimes they say it's lonely at the top. And I
Yeah.
really, why I say that is because you have to understand, this is why I love being in the groups that Jonathan and I are in, is because you get to be around people who are investing, and this is
Yeah.
why you want to be invest in communities. But in our own life, it's hard to find people that are like us.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And so if you don't have someone constantly saying to you, you can do this, you're great, and they don't want to see you lose, they actually want to see you win, they're your hype people because they think the same way you do. That is so important to your growth because you need people to believe in you, to cheer you on, right? Like to
Yeah.
help you, because sometimes we can go back to our old selves. Like people think, oh, I watched this, 14-day thing. I've got everything figured out. Then you'll get the Tony Robbins syndrome. You'll have that rah, rah, rah. I walked on coals. I'm doing everything. And then the next week you're like, okay, wait, what happened?
Mhm.
Right? So
Yeah.
reconfirming that. And yeah, we do have the beliefs, but you have to, that's why you got to journal every day. I write down every day. When you read my book or if you get in my world, you'll know I write down every day how this day is going to go. I don't put goals, I put intentions, because goals are just achieving things. I put on how do I want to live? What do I want? Every day I design my life. If you are not driving and creating your life every single day, then life will create for you. Life will throw at you, right? So you got to be in the driver's seat and do this, right? And so that's so important. And then listen, really, really successful people don't have a lot of friends. Like I know my clients don't have a lot of friends. That's why I create communities for them, because they're successful women. And so it's hard. Yeah. Accept it.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I get that. Cool. Yeah, there's a few more questions popping up, but I mean, this has been so good, guys. Every time I talk to you, I know when we first met, you just like blew my mind, and it's cool that we're in the same mastermind. So we'll get to hang out again. But I was like, once I talked to you, I was like, you got to come on and talk to my people and change their mindset. Because what's crazy, Shamina, is like I know I have, and this is not being cocky, but I think we have the best education on the planet when it comes to affiliate marketing and building your email list. I don't think anyone comes close to what we've done here, especially with the software and the courses. The only thing holding people back, is just the mindset. So I was like, please come into this. And then, I mean, if it's okay, I want to even add this into like my course. Like that would be amazing. Cause like before they even jump into like the tactics, I'm like, you got to watch this. Cause like, if you go into the tactics without having the mindset, it's like, it doesn't really matter. So
it really doesn't. It really doesn't. And I'll tell you something, like, I just want to give some more props to Jonathan. There's a lot of people teaching affiliate marketing. There's a ton. I just saw some guy come through my feed, and he's really funny the way he makes his videos. He's got he's throwing money at you. He's entertaining. He's got the flashy vibe. He's living. Yeah. And he's got the, the girl, and he's doing all the things. Do you notice Jonathan is a family man? And he's like, literally, I'm like, I said, no, where's your Rolex? Like, where's all your things? I need to see your stuff. Where's your stuff, Jonathan? Go buy yourself something. I hope he does go buy himself something. But he's so, and I'm not saying he doesn't like nice things and he doesn't provide for his family, because I know he does. And he loves his wife, and he also talks about his wife and kids. But what I want you to, and that's wealth in my opinion too. But what it is that he's so driven to help you succeed, because your success means something to him. I'm the same way. I just show you all the things that you can have now. I'm going to work on him, but it's like, it's
still working on me.
Yeah. But I want you to see that if you see someone, look at his shirt, what it says, freedom. This is a very, very subliminal thing. You ask anybody on the truest, core thing of that what they want is freedom. He's providing you the freedom to have money freedom, time freedom, every freedom that you possibly do not have right now. I do the same thing. And all we want as humans is to have freedom, because once you start having money, you want your time back, right? Because you realize that money's not the thing anymore. And so he's showing you to have your time back, how to have money. Freedom is it. And so, yeah, Jonathan is the coolest dude. He's not showing you the flash. He's not driving a Lamborghini. He can buy all these things, by the way, but he's not showing you. He's showing you, listen, watch what I did.
Yeah.
And come do it with me.
So good. Yeah. I mean, you always hype me up. I love it. Thank you so much.
Well, because it's so easy to talk him up.
I appreciate that. All right. Well, guys, do me a big favor and obviously go follow her on Instagram. Again, it's going to be the Shamina Taylor. And do me a favor, guys, go blow up her Instagram, go like her posts, go check her out. And then create a story, tag me and Shamina, and just let us know what you learned. I hope this was of value to everyone here. I know for me, like this was a session for me. Part of doing these challenges is I get people that I want help with. So luckily you guys get to go along the journey with me as well. So
can I ask one question before we leave? What was what was your biggest takeaway? Can you just put in the comment and just drop? And then if you could tag me on socials, that would be great. What was your biggest takeaway? He's so, you know why I love him? Because he's so genuine and sincere. Because I feel that in people. Yeah. But what was your biggest takeaway from this that you got from just listening to me? I would love to know what it was. And then you can tag me on social with it. And then do you feel like you had a shift just listening to me today?
Awesome. Yeah. So guys, let us know what you learned down below. And then did you have a shift? I know for me, I've had every time I talk to him, like just. So
and by the way, to believe in myself, mindset, fear is fuel, getting out of my own way. I'm the biggest block. Oh, I love that. Get out of my own way. Love that. Be, do, have. Love it. I didn't create that, by the way. That came from someone else, but I did my understanding of it. The way I explain it was my interpretation
I've
of it.
heard Myron Golden talk about something like that.
Yeah, he does too.
Yeah.
We teach it differently, but he teaches very
Yeah.
similar stuff that I do. But I'm like he very similar, but I'm probably the female version of it. I
Yeah.
realize
Yeah. That's
trauma.
cool.
It's all about the mindset and self-discipline. Doing it messy makes millions. I love it. Change my mindset. Be present. Shift it into higher gear. Be, do, then have. I also have a saying, more is coming. I didn't tell you the story about it, but you can go watch a video on my YouTube about it. If you believe, and I actually put it on all my swag everywhere. You can see we have a shop, more is coming. But if
That's so
you,
cool.
isn't that cool? I have
That is
lots of stuff.
awesome.
And so if you believe more is coming, you will not be limited in how you use your money. If I make an investment, I know it's always coming back to me. Because typically your money mindset, opening both, think the opposite when I don't believe it. Inspiration that you can have it and just post. Yes, just post. You know what I do sometimes? I just post and run. I do this. I'll post and run. I won't sit there and watch for unless it's Instagram because you have to engage it. But most of the time I just post and run and I come back to it. So I don't feel that anxiousness, Took
I did that
action.
yesterday with a controversial post. I was like, all right,
Did
I'm
you?
gonna.
Oh yeah, the one with the thing. I'm with you, brother. Though, yeah. You want that
I
shirt?
was
Go
like,
find our swag shop. It's on it's on my website, ShaminaTaylor.com. You can go find our swag shop. There's so many deep takeaways. I can't remember. Okay, watch it again. Take action. Can you hold your shirt up again for a screenshot? Sure, no problem.
Yeah, let's take a screenshot of that and let's throw that on Instagram. Hold it up for a few seconds. Here, throw it up a little higher.
One second.
All right, yeah, you're good.
Wait, I feel like every time I look at the video and I'm not centered because it's like
that looks good right there. All right.
Yeah, and we have lots of stuff on there. Take massive
cool.
action. That post was fantastic. Yeah, I agree with him too. I hit my soul. It hit my soul. This hit my soul though. Mindset runs deeper than what you actually think. Yes. Okay. Reverse engineer your thinking. Absolutely. Whatever you want, like the end result, always look backwards on how you have to get there. That's how I did it. I'm like, what is the life I want to create and what do I need to do to have it? And then that's what I did. I became that person. So I love that. I'm not into all the buying material and bragging, but I do. But see, it's not bragging. See, you just assign meaning to that bragging. Can't people celebrate? You don't celebrate, and that's probably why you're not making a lot of money, Janice. Just telling you that right now. But I love that you shared that. My grandmother had Alzheimer's too. So you can care for your grandmother, you can care for your mother, and you can still be wealthy. You can still have both. It's an and world, not or, right? Go check out my YouTube video too. Follow me there and subscribe. I have lots of videos that go deeper into this. All right. This was awesome, Jonathan. Thank you so much for having me. I would love to come again. And my team is like, you gave everything away for free. I'm like, yeah, I did. So go do something with it.
Yeah, this is amazing. And I hope you guys take advantage of this. I mean, like, this is just so good. Like, it literally, guys, if you can switch the way you think about money and just your mindset, like, you'll be able to achieve so much. And I feel like I haven't even tapped, not even like close to my potential. And like, I've been able to do a good job with just the things I've done. But when I met Shamina, I was like, oh gosh, I need to change the way I do things. So I appreciate you, and it was awesome meeting you in our mastermind. I'm excited to kind of continue working on things, and I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So
and literally whatever he's buying, buy. And you can buy my stuff too, but definitely buy Jonathan's. Okay.
awesome. All right, Shamina, thank you so much. Again, guys, go on Instagram, tag me.
Wait, take a picture. I'm going to take a picture of us because I'm going to probably put it on my gram too. So this was awesome. I don't even know how many people were on live. I didn't even see all that, but I know there was a lot of you.
Yeah. Did you get it?
Got it. Awesome. Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
All right. Sweet. All right. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for getting on this live. I know this was just a game changer for me when I first met Shamina in our mastermind. So hope you guys enjoyed that. And again, after this, I hope you're taking action on the traffic challenge. We have so much more, guys, so much more that we're going to be doing. But the whole goal, again, is just to push you to start creating content, just get out of your comfort zone. So that being said, make sure to jump on our live Zoom call tonight. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern. This will be a Q&A session. You come ask your questions, all that good stuff. So That being said, guys, thank you so much for being on here. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow. And then again, we should have someone almost every single day. So we'll talk to you guys soon. God bless.